Good morning, everyone. Let's try that again. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Oh, there you are. I knew you were out there. I can see you. Oh my gosh. It's April. Can you believe it?
Yes.
I can't. I don't know what happened to March. We're moving right through the year very quickly. Spring has sprung, no doubt. Thank you all for being here this morning, and welcome to those on Zoom this morning. Thank you for being here with us. Our fabulous followers. Everybody's waving. Oh my goodness. Well, welcome back to the Positive Living Center here in Oakhurst, California. This year has been deemed the year of creating healthy lifestyles. And my allergies haven't gotten that word yet, but they're getting there. Our topics for April is about physical health, mental health, and spiritual health, which of course is related to endurance, harmony, and love. That's what we'll be talking about this month. I'd like to invite Cheyenne to come up, have her play a little bit for us. It's time for meditation. It's a chance for us to be still, close our eyes, take a couple of deep breaths, and just relax. Let everything go that's on your plate to do today and throughout the week. Be here physically, mentally, spiritually. Take time for yourself. Yes.
What I am, what I have come to know is that I've always been and there's nowhere to go. No beginning and no end. Infinite love that a mind can comprehend. Beyond identity, beyond wrong and right, beyond anything in my mind. I am one, I am one, I am one with the light to hide away, to find. There's no need for that, that's right. To open wide and see what lives inside of me. Beyond identity, beyond wrong and right, beyond anything in my mind. I am one, I am one, I am one with the light. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om Shanti, Om. Beyond identity, beyond wrong and right, beyond anything in my mind. I am one
We are one with the light. We have the endurance, the harmony, the love within us all. And we use this power, for it is our birthright. We use these great powers for good for ourselves and everyone we come across, being great stewards of God. And so it is. Cheyenne, thank you so much. It's beautiful. Beautiful. Welcome back. It's time for our spiritual thought. And I'm going to ask Reverend Kim Haley to come up and give us that spiritual thought. Good morning. Let's give her some love, huh? Bring you down here like this.
Okay,
You can move your microphone any way you like.
nice. You only see my head.
You gonna stand up?
I am gonna stand. I don't know. Hello. Oh, now I'm really tall. Am I too tall?
Never.
No, you're good.
Okay, that's great. Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome. This is an enlivening, life-affirming time, the spring. And this morning, I'm right now taking care of a friend's outdoor cats. And I go up there and I feed them twice a day. And this morning, as I was going up there, I was just looking at all the meadow flowers and the green grass and how beautiful it was in the sun. And when I just about got to the top, they live at the top of the hill, and I saw the first female turkey hen. And I always feel lucky when I see a turkey. I think there's some good juju there. And I was so happy. And then on the way home, I was driving up my driveway, there was another one. And I thought, how did she make it from there to here so quickly? I don't know. But anyway, and I also this morning, I have a green tea in the morning, usually. Can you hear me okay, by the way? Okay. And I have a little tag I brought with me. It's on my green tea. It's Yogi green tea. And it says, personal growth lies within the unknown. Courage permits you to explore this space. The interesting thing is, that's kind of like what my talk is about a little bit today. I was going to say, we're talking about physical health, mental health, and spiritual health, harmony, endurance, and love. But I want to talk about something else. And I think there's a ton of random acts of joy that we can plug into at any time. It's always there. And for us to savor those moments every day. I actually participated in 2 Zoom meetings this last 2 weeks. And one of the meetings was an astrological meeting. It was a workshop, and it was understanding the outer planets and how they affect the inner planets. And when that happens, there's some really big juju that goes on. And it was delightful. And the second one was a poetry group that I'm involved with. And it was just a really delightful meeting that we had. And it's just a small group of women. And we get together, and we didn't even talk about poetry per se. What we did talk about was spiritual topics. We just started talking about spirituality. And that gave me a lot of hope and a nice feeling. And I think a lot of us are feeling maybe a revival in ourselves because of the energetic of spring. And in those 2 meetings, the Zoom meetings, I brought up something that happened to me probably 4 decades ago, because I was reminded of something. And I shared it with both of these groups. And they, in turn, gave me feedback. And I'm going to share it with you today. It's because it's called The Power of and the Art of Surrender. Can you hear? Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
The power and art of surrendering. And surrender is the divine art of letting go the ability to flow instead of clenching, obsessing, and over controlling. I have all those things and I am working on them. According to Dr. Judith Orloff, the art of letting go is the secret to manifesting power and success in all areas of life. And once embraced, surrendering removes roadblocks and exhaustion that comes from trying too hard. And it helps you achieve goals more effortlessly and brings ongoing happiness by deepening your connection to your intuition and the divine. So I'm going to talk about this thing that happened to me. It happened to me in my 20s. And I was green and in a new job. I felt out of my depth. I was extremely nervous and anxious. I felt lucky to get this job. I was really happy to get this job. It was at Access Television production house, if you like. And I got this job. I was a single parent. I really wanted it to work. But I was overthinking. I was obsessing. I was compulsive. I was scared. I was scared that I was going to mess up. And then I wasn't sleeping on top of it, and that made me, you're not sleeping, and then you get mad at yourself for not sleeping, and you start giving yourself, and you just start piling it on. You pile it on. And I remember one night, spontaneously, I said, in my head, I need to sleep. I need to sleep. And then the next spontaneous thing I heard come out of my mouth, I was standing at the foot of my bed. I said, I surrender. I surrender. And I plopped down on my bed and I was out just like that. I went really quickly. And I can only describe what happened next as something that a teacher of mine, a meditation teacher named Joanne Burgess, said was a peak experience for me. It was like no other dream I'd ever had. It felt different. I felt transported to somewhere else. And I ended up on the side of a grassy hill. The sun was shining. There was a lot of grass that was flowing in a nice gentle breeze. And there was a huge teepee. It was a golden hided teepee. It had an open flap. And as what happens in these sort of altered states, it doesn't follow A to B, B to C. What happened is I ended up being right next to the open flap of this teepee. And I'm giving you a visual, so you'll all have your own visual of this. It's now yours too. And what happened is there were these energetics. They were like soft, diffuse colors. And in the middle of these maybe slightly circular colors were faces, and they were smiling. Everybody was smiling. Everybody in this dream was smiling, and it was warm. And I felt like I'd come home to something, because you have that witness that's also there while you're in this sort of state. So they were all filing past me as I stood by the flap to this teepee and going in. And then I went in after. And then this gentleman, who I will call a chief or a medicine man, I don't know, but he was the master of ceremonies there. And he followed me. And then we were standing at opposite ends of this teepee inside now, and the congregation was facing us. And from his mind, he said, now. He didn't say it verbally. He said it now, and I picked it up mentally. And there was no hesitation on my part, because I had been second guessing everything in my life up to that, everything. And nothing, I just did it. And from my eyes came some light energy, and a young Native American woman appeared and stood there. She might have been a maiden, that would be her age. And then he did the same thing, this gentleman, this maybe chief, and he brought a mail, and they faced each other, and they touched fingers like this. And then they faced the congregation, and they still touched their fingers like this. And then they faced each other again. And I heard him say in my mind, now. So I took her back, and he took the vision back of the mail. And I had no question as to what I was supposed to do. I was listening. I was in the moment. And then my clock radio went off. I had one of those in those days to wake me up. And the first thing that I heard, the news, was that Chief Dan George had passed that morning. And I had a history of following some of his philosophy and reading his newspaper articles. And I just loved this guy. He was amazing. And that he had passed that morning. And I just was like, I was astonished. I was astonished. I had maybe had 1 hour of sleep, and I had energy to burn. And I had an amazing amount of energy all day long. So, you know, I think when you surrender to something bigger, the all it is, the healing takes place. Because I was healed. I let go. And it was spontaneous for me. I wasn't even studying spirituality at that point. I began to regard the unknown as friendly, a healing energetic. And I had more energy from doing so. It was easy. Life was easier. Mary Oliver wrote, "When it's over, I want to say, I was the bride married to amazement. I was the bridegroom taking the whole world in my arms." And I think this dream came back to me now, 4 decades later, so that I could share it, so that I could understand it again, so that I could review it and reclaim it. And it's not just mine anymore. As I said, it's yours. I'm now going to finish with a short Lakota prayer. Oh, great mystery, thank you for teaching me how to trust. My heart, my mind, my intuition, my inner knowing, the senses of my body, the blessings of my spirit. Thank you for teaching me to trust these things so that I may enter my sacred space and love beyond my fear, and thus walk in balance with the passing of each glorious sun. And for the Lakota people, the sacred space is the space between each inhalation and exhalation. So breathe easy and be well, and surrender to this glorious day and joy. Aho.
Yeah, I know her head was kind of cut off on that. That wasn't my fault. She moved. So. I surrender. I love that. About 2 years ago, my mantra became, let it go. You've heard me say that. If it's that big and that crazy, just let it go. And when you do that, everything comes to you, doesn't it? You get all caught up in the stuff, and you've got to say, you know what? I need a break from this. I want to let it go and surrender it. Beautiful words. Thank you so much, Reverend. Beautiful. I think it's time for music. Miss Cheyenne Hernandez. Let's give her some love. Thanks for being here today.
had a song I was gonna do, but I just learned it yesterday and I wanna like really get it down so I can rock it out for you guys next time. But I have another song that's awesome that I know really well that you guys have probably heard before, but I think it's appropriate for today. The last song I sang was by Brenda McMorrow, and this one is by a rainbow elder named Fantuzzi. It's called Universal Lover. You are my mother, you are my father, you are my lover, you are my friend. You're the beginning, you are the center, and you are beyond the end. And I love you so. You help me see you in all, see you in me. For I'm in you and you are in me. For I'm in you and you are in me. You are the mountains, you are the rivers, you are the stars, you are the sea. You are the colors of the rainbow, you're the pure white light in me. And I love you so. You help me see you in all, see you in me. For I'm in you and you are in me. For I'm in you and you are in me. Feel free to sing along if you feel it, or hum, or whatever. You are the, oh. Here we go. You are my mother, you are my father, you are my lover, you are my friend. You're the beginning, you are the center, and you are beyond the end. And I love you so. You help me see you in all, see you in me. For I'm in you and you are in me. For I'm in you and you are in me. You are the mountains, you are the rivers, you are the stars, you are the sea. You are the colors of the rainbow, you're the pure white light in me. And I love you so. You help me see you in all, see you in me. For I'm in you and you're 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 in me.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Cheyenne. That was
Thank you.
fabulous. She reminds me of a quote I heard the other day already about adopt the pace of Mother Nature. Her secret is patience, by Ralph Waldo Emerson. I love that guy. I love his teachings. Oh, and now.
And now move the computer back.
Yes, ma'am. To move it, I think, for my next speaker who's a little shorter than I am.
Everybody's shorter than you.
A little bit. Reverend Sandy West, come on up here, please. Welcome back.
Oh, I love hugs. Am I on the camera?
Yes.
Okay. If not, Missy will yell at me, so please make sure I am.
Yeah, your chin's a little cut off, but that's okay. At least your eyes, I can see your eyes.
Oh, good. Our sister's wonderful. Oh, such a glorious day today. And I had something happen to me recently, and I want to share that as part of what I want to talk about today. My goal in life was always freedom. I didn't have words for what that meant, what that looked like, what it was going to sound like, feel like, but I knew it was something I wanted. I looked at the world and we had freedom here, not completely, but more than in other places. But I was so bogged down my whole life with the anger and the rages and the grief and all of the things that had happened, the turmoil that we all carry. And I'd bandaged myself up many times. And then I got into religious science and I started working on me. So the first attempt was getting out of alcoholism. And I thought that was freedom. You know, I wasn't having to have something anymore. I wasn't hiding anymore. I wasn't drinking, so I didn't have to wake up or see what was going on or feel the pain. I thought that I'd achieved freedom. And then I found out years later, when I went into the breast cancer, that there was still more for me to learn. And I found that it takes major things to break me so that I can learn. That I'm too busy stuffing things in a way so that I don't have to face them, wanting to think that things are always happy. And I have a sister that does that in England. And she says she doesn't want to go through any of that, that she just wants to be happy. And I found that I was doing my version of that. So the cancer took me to my knees. At the beginning, I didn't know if I was going to live or not. There was a lot of pain. I was at the hospital almost daily. It took me to my knees. It took me to my knees, reaching out to God, asking for help. And what it did to me was taught me to surrender, to give it all up, to quit having to be in control of everything, to manage everything, how I looked or what was going on. I still remember one of my grandson's face in shock when he saw me with no hair. And to not let that bother, to know that it was just part of the process and it was part of what happened, had to happen. And I'm actually grateful that I lost my hair because my hair came back in better than it had ever been. It's not so limp and there's some natural curl in it and I can do something with it. It doesn't have to stay short all the time. So you start seeing these positives that are happening. So I thought, this must be freedom. I'm healthy, I'm living. I have a family who showed how much they loved me through everything I went through. And life is good. I thought I had it handled, right? So 2 weeks ago, I slipped or did something in the shower, did a forward somersault kind of thing, and whacked my whole face on the wall of the shower. So I ended up with this black eye, and it was black. I mean, it was dark purple black, all the way around and coming down below my cheekbone. So it was healing. And I got up to come to church last Sunday and I looked in the mirror and I broke down crying. And what I found out was I hadn't dealt with shame yet. I was brought to my knees again by shame. I hadn't done anything. I hadn't done anything. And I still felt shame because of the way my face looked. And it looked that way when I was in domestic violence situations and things like that. And what would people think? How are they going to judge it? They don't know I feel. What are they going to think happens? I'm supposed to be this minister and I'm walking around with a black eye. I mean, how can I do that? And I went through all of these pictures coming up of things I had stuffed over my lifetime, all the way back to like 5 years old, when I had felt humiliation and shame. All of them had stuffed down so I could survive, so I could endure, so I could keep on getting up every day and going forward. It emptied me out. I get visuals when healing happens for me, and it was like all of this black gunk was pouring out, going home to source. There were all kinds of rocks and jaded objects and all this stuff. And the picture that I had of me was that I was standing with my legs together, my arms down my side, and completely wrapped and knotted all up in rope. And not just rope, an ugly rope, a harsh rope that burned and hurt and left those burns on you. And it took me almost all day to be able to free myself from that rope and to release that. It was so ingrained and so deep down into every cell in my body to be able to let that go. And eventually I got there. And then a couple days it took to come over it. You know, I was limp, I was emptied, I had endured, but endured in a good way because I've always wanted freedom. If I'm locked up in a rope like a hostage, how am I free? It's an illusion to think that I could be free when I'm doing that to myself. No one did it to me. I did it to me. We all do it to ourselves. Whatever we take or need to survive, we do. And the gift was that I was finally able to let that go. So I'm never going to say again that I'm done with my lessons or done with my learning. It goes on. But the thing that's so important as we go through all these ups and downs and these trials and tribulations and the good times and the not so good times, they're not the mountains anymore, not going up and down and big things anymore. They're more like rolling hills. And that's doable. It's like going down 41 to the Hogwallers, you know, and you go down and up and down and up and down and up. And that's life, and that's manageable. And that allows us to not only have our own lessons, to be parts of other people's lessons, for it takes more than one for the lesson to happen. It takes all of us coming together and interacting. And there we get the lessons to find out what our part is in it and what we need to do. But in the middle of that, when we feel so ugly, when we feel so broken, so handicapped emotionally, we have to reach deep and find a way to connect with Source, to bring God's love within us, and to learn to love ourselves. And I think that is the greatest achievement we can do in this lifetime. To me, that's the foundation of freedom. If I can't love myself, I can't be free from everything else. So when we talk about loving ourselves or looking in the mirror and smiling at ourselves or looking at people in the eyes because we're okay with where we are, we don't have to hide anymore. We can reach out and share and be who and what we are and be okay with that. It doesn't matter if we've been working in the garden and we're all grunged up or if we're dressed up to go to a party. We're still who we are. The clothes don't make a difference. The makeup doesn't make a difference. The hair doesn't make a difference. None of it does. The heart makes the difference. The heart, and us living through the heart and from the heart and in the heart, opening it up to share, to love, to become the verb loving. It's not that I'm in love with you. I am loving all the time for everything, for birds and for the trees and the water and the fish, for the weeds, for the ground, for whatever it is. This is what's so important when we do the healing service on the third Sunday, because we help hold this love for everyone. Your ministers and your practitioners hold this consciousness of love, so that we can all interact with it, that we can hitchhike on them if we can't quite do it ourselves. When you come here, you get smiles, you get hugs, you get welcome. That's because your true being is being recognized. It's being seen. Your light is there and it's being seen. And the more it's seen, the more you're comfortable allowing it to be there. So as we listen to all the speakers this month, know that it's important, because all of these things that we're going through the last couple of years and this year are all thoughts about what we need to work on, our ideas about how to work on it or what might work, what helps. And if you don't quite have it, go see the practitioner of the day, get prayer work done, call a minister, get someone to pray for you. Joe's in charge of our prayer team. He sends emails out all the time and everyone prays, including Angie and Missy and Vivian that are here on Zoom. They all get in and do it. They accept it. They know it for us. So it's like, remember the poem of Footprints, where it's Jesus carrying the person because there's only one set of footprints? That's what it's like. Let someone carry you. Let them help you and lift you up. Let them encourage you so that they can know for you as you reach up to get that knowing for yourself, as you learn to know it for yourself, to embody it. We do it together. We're not brought here to live alone. We're brought here to be a community that loves and heals, evolves and grows together. So come this month and listen to all the different people speak. And our goal always is, by the end of the month, you will have heard something from someone that will make a difference for you. Thank you.
You need a stage hand.
Name's LJ. You gotta pay her first.
That was very inspirational. Thank you. I think that touches everybody. We've all been there, haven't we?
Yeah.
We've all been there. And we get to the other side, and however that works for us. Fabulous. Fabulous reminders. Oh, it's time for our offertory. Could I ask a couple of people to come up and help me with offertory? Thank you. Let me do the prayer with you guys. Listen to the offertory prayer, please. Divine love flowing through me, blesses and increases all that I give and all that I receive. Thank you, ladies. And those on Zoom already know, I believe, how to give offertory. Got a big thumbs up from Reverend Misty, so that's covered. And in your email that you receive from Luana each month, if you're on the email list, gives you instructions on how you can give through that way too, through donating. Your monies keep this center clean, open, and available to us 24/7. So thank you so much for all that you give, all what you do. Thanks, girls. Oh, my goodness. I am on such a spiritual high. Whew. Man. It's time for announcements. Do we have any announcements out there? Reverend Kim?
Okay, and John reminded me too, that next Saturday, the second Saturday of the month at 2:00. I was reaching for that one. We will be having our flute circle here, and you don't have to know how to play a flute, but just come along if you want to just listen. But if you do have flutes and you want to play, do come and join us, because we have a really good time. Oh, I forgot we had this. Can you hear me better now?
Yes, no, say it again.
Everything not so much better. Now I know it's 2:00 on Saturday. We have our flute circle here. So if you're wanting to listen to flute music or you'd like to, participate, we welcome with open arms anyone that wants to do that. And you don't have to be, you can be a beginner, you can maybe never even seen a flute before. We can expose you to those sorts of things and you'll have a lot of fun. So I hope you'll come.
Thank you, Reverend.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, come on up here. Good morning to you. It's on. Should be on right now. Test.
It's all a test, isn't it?
Yes.
Following the flute circle is the drum circle. Second Saturday of the month. We start setting up at 3:30, and then the ceremony and the drums start at 4 to 5. And it's different. It awakens parts of ourselves that we didn't know was asleep. You don't have to have a drum. Just join us.
Thank you, Reverend. Anyone else? Diane?
Do I have to use it?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll be playing at the Butterfly Festival in Mariposa on the 23rd and the 24th of April. I'll be in the beer garden doing an hour-long set. I'll be doing some reggae, some rocky, twisty, just fun stuff. And it's on the website, on the Butterfly Festival website, if you guys want the times and more information. And I have some friends joining me with cajon and guitar and harmonies and stuff. So yeah, just wanted to let you guys know.
I'll be there. Joe?
Oh, I don't need a microphone.
Okay.
But they do for.
They do for Zoom.
Okay, I get it.
Don't be shy, Joe.
Reverend Jenny will be here next Sunday. Seen her for a couple of years on Zoom. Next Sunday, you can see her. If you want to see her in person, she'll be here.
That's great. Thank you very much, Joe. Look forward to seeing you. Anyone else? Yes, Joe, come on up. Come on, anyone has announcements, come on up. I'm not gonna come to you. I've already got way too much going on.
My name is Gail, and I've been on Zoom. Reverend Kathy passed away a month or so ago in Landis, and we're having her memorial service on Friday at noon at the Universal Unitarian Church. If anybody wants to come in.
That's in Fresno, Unitarian Church in Fresno?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Blessings to her.
First of all, there's a $5 bill right behind John.
That's mine.
Yes, it is.
Just want to mention for those who are in the area, and if anyone's coming to the area in the next couple months, there's a special art show up at Gallery Row, up 41, just past the new hotels on the left.
Yeah.
And it's called Yosemite Renaissance 37. All the artwork is inspired by Yosemite and the Sierras. It's a beautiful show, and I hope you'll check it out. It'll be there for close to the end of May. I believe.
Thank you so much.
And they're closed on Tuesday.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Very good. Yeah. You're here? Did you put the $5 on there?
I did. That's where it belongs, right?
Sure. Sure.
Good morning. I just want to invite anyone who is not receiving the weekly iFocus and would like to get me their email address, and I will make sure that you end up on the list. That's it.
Great. Yeah, it's a great way to stay in touch with what's going on around here. Those emails are wonderful. Anyone else? Okay, thank you very much. If you have something you would like for us to pray upon today, and you want to do it, without a practitioner today, which, by the way, is Reverend Kim's our practitioner after church, and you can come see her for prayer. We have a frog box in that very back corner, and there's a pen and some paper back there, and you can write out the prayer treatment that you would like to have us pray upon. I put that out to all practitioners and ministers, and we pray on it. We always do. So just so you know that, we are here for you. Okay? Next week's speaker, Reverend Bob Hand. Good morning, Reverend Bob. There he is. I hope you've got something to say to us. Apparently not.
No.
Okay. You might want to work on that this week. It's coming. So, okay. Oh boy, what a crowd. Let's do our prayer protection in front of your. Yes.
We have our spiritual discussion group Tuesday, and they're the ones who put together my talk. So
Oh,
I have to get that from them first.
okay, very good. I'm glad you have a team. I need to get a team. That's great. Thank you. In the seat in front of you, you have the prayer protection on this little book, this little card. And I'd like for you to do the prayer protection with me at this time, please. The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me. The presence of God watches over me. The energy of God is me. Wherever I am, God is. And all is well. Oh, Reverend Sandy, let's come up and give us a closing prayer. And Cheyenne, would you mind coming up after the prayer and maybe playing a little something for everybody? Okay.
Thank you. Is that me?
That's you.
No, now is it me? He probably did it that way. Just close your eyes and take some deep breaths in, please. Just feel the light and the love that's been here today. Feel this glorious family that we're a part of. Feel this energy and the love that passes all understanding, the love that heals and soothes, the love that lights us up, the love that we walk in and dance in. Go out in a meadow today and dance in love. Feel it. Lay down on the grasses and look at the clouds. Allow yourself this experience, knowing that all is well, and you and each of us are loved unconditionally. And say with me, please, and so it is.
Thank you, Reverend. Thank you, Reverend. And now, Cheyenne.
This song is in Spanish, but it's all about love and beauty and plants and animals and flowers and the light and living with in love and community. So enjoy.
Sure.
Ya hey, que curas mi cuerpo y mi alma, traes alegría, calma a mi corazón, mi vida es un altar de flores para ti. Doy gracias por haberte conocido a ti en esta tierra, en esta selva. El gran espíritu te sembró de jugo de amor, te dio paciencia, te dio humildad para enseñarnos su verdad. Cuidar la tierra es el camino, sembrar conciencia, ya hey, ya hey, ya hey. Amar la vida y al universo, cantarle al viento, ya hey, ya hey, ya hey. Ya hey, ya hey, ya hey, ya hey, ya hey. Ya hey, 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 ya hey. Ya hey, ya hey, ya hey, ya hey, ya hey. Ya hey, ya hey, ya hey, ya hey, ya hey. Gracias, Padre. Gracias, gran universo, por la semilla. Gracias, Inti Sol. Gracias, Madre. Gracias que llama mamita fertilidad. Gracias, Luna intuición. Gracias, Padre. Gracias, gran universo, por la semilla. Gracias, Inti Sol. Gracias, Madre. Gracias que llama mamita fertilidad. Gracias, Luna intuición. I have shakers if anybody wants them. They're right here in this turtle bag. Come get them. Pass them around. Ya hey, que curas mi cuerpo y mi alma, traes alegría, calma a mi corazón, mi vida es un altar de flores para ti. Doy gracias por haberte conocido a ti en esta tierra, en esta selva. El gran espíritu te sembró de jugo de amor, te dio paciencia, te dio humildad para enseñarnos su verdad. Cuidar la tierra es el camino, sembrar conciencia, ya hey, ya hey, ya hey. Amar la vida y al universo, cantarle al viento, ya hey, ya hey, ya hey. Ya hey, ya hey, ya hey, ya hey, ya hey. Ya hey, 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 ya hey. Ya hey, ya hey, ya hey, ya hey, ya hey. Ya hey, ya hey, ya hey, ya hey, ya hey. Gracias, Padre. Gracias, gran universo, por la semilla. Gracias, Inti Sol. Gracias, Madre. Gracias que llama mamita fertilidad. Gracias, Luna intuición. Gracias, Padre. Gracias, gran universo, por la semilla. Gracias, Inti Sol. Gracias, Madre. Gracias que llama mamita fertilidad. Gracias, Luna intuición. Y ahora canto de corazón, porque cantando me di cuenta que no existe otra razón que la del amor germinó, de la madre florecer y la de la vida se niega a desaparecer. Ya hey, en tus noches misteriosas aprendemos a vivir en armonía con todas las cosas. Y aunque a veces hace duro el camino, con humildad y con paciencia vamos forjando nuestro futuro. Vamos sembrando la esperanza, vamos sembrando la hermandad, manteniendo ser humanos con disciplina y voluntad. la medicina de la tierra que nos brinda su color. Gracias Padre, gracias Madre, yaje mamá, quilla, taitaso. Gracias Padre, gracias gran universo por la semilla, gracias Intisol. Gracias Madre, gracias que llama la fertilidad, gracias una intuición. Gracias Padre, gracias gran universo por la semilla, gracias Intisol. Gracias Madre, gracias que llama la fertilidad, gracias una intuición.
Diane Hernandez, wonderful.
And that was a song by Danza Colibri, which means hummingbird dance. And the song is Altar of Flowers, because there's a line that says, my life is an altar of flowers before you.
In other words, she's saying, have a wonderful day.
Yeah. Let your life be an altar of flowers for the divine.
That's right. I hope you all have a great, great week. Thanks for being here. A round of applause to all of you.
I have a request to do a poem. Those of you that have to leave, it's okay, but maybe I could just recite the poem for those of you that want to say it's very short. It's called Broken Things. I'm getting a request to stand up. So the poem goes like this. My broken leg taught me healing. My broken heart taught me depth of feeling. And my loving, caring kindness came through cracks of ignorance and blindness. My crooked teeth smile sincerely, and my calloused feet walk for miles fearlessly. If there were no broken things, then there would be no happy reunions. And so I pray as I cut the fruit, may the pieces be united in me as we, the people, are united in the one life. If there were no broken things, then there would be no happy reunions. We break apart and separate just to come together once again.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Lovely day. Thank you, everybody.
Oh,
That was wonderful, Cheyenne. Thank you for the music. Thank you for the lovely poem.
Wonderful.
And if anybody wants to wave at Angie or anybody on Zoom, come on up to the camera. Because I know he loves to see everybody.
We're scared. Hi, Angie. Hi, everybody.
Bye.
Have a wonderful day, everybody.
Bye. See you next week.
See you next week.
Oh, perfect. Okay.